started. Okay, good evening, folks. This is Patrick Tulloch coming to you live and direct from beautiful Toronto, Canada. And it is definitely a pleasure to be here this evening for the Wednesday night leadership training call. And how ironic is that? Here I am with the opportunity of being able to share with you some things about leadership that I've learned over time, not overnight, that I think are absolutely critical to one's success, not just in this industry of network marketing, but anything that one really applies themselves to. So, you have to really ask yourself a few questions. Are you a leader? Have you ever been in a position where you've had the opportunity of taking a leadership role? And I think in some respects, we all have. Whether it's been the responsibility of being a parent, there's definitely a leadership role there, setting examples, or even with an organization, a company, as a manager, we've had the responsibilities of being able to make an impact and make a difference in people's lives. And it was actually up until 1986 that I had worked in corporate for about 5 years prior to that. And at that point in time, I had decided that I wanted to work for myself. I didn't want to work for anybody else ever again. I'd had it just after 5 years, and I was never really the leader type, but I was very, very independent, and I wanted to be able to work for myself. And so that's what I did. I started a multi-million-dollar business of 23 years, and there are things that happen in our lives that actually propel us into becoming who we are today. We are where we're at right now, but at the same time, all of the activities that we've experienced in our lives is positioning us for greatness, positioning us to do great things. We just have to be aware of the possibilities that exist, the leadership capabilities that exist. And you see, for myself, I was never really a leader per se. I was very active. I was, a likable kind of a guy. I was, the athletic type, always involved with team play, but never absolutely the leader, although I was a top performer in some respects. And so what happened for me was a transition when I went from starting my business in 1986. After the first year and a half, I was basically working on my own. And then things started to change. My business started to take on a life of its own. It started to grow. It started to develop. And I realized at this particular point in time that I was not in a position where I could actually run the business by myself. I needed to get other people involved. I needed to be able to train other people to do what I was doing. I needed to teach people. I needed to inspire and motivate and have people do what I was doing previously. I was providing a service, and I needed other people to basically see the vision that I had for the company at the time. And so that's why I say to you is that, you are the sum total of all of your thoughts and actions, and where you are today is just setting yourself up for the rest of the story. So what I wanted to do initially here was just share with you some of the characteristics of a leader. And obviously the first one is about being teachable. Are you teachable? You see, when I got involved in this industry 8 years ago, one of the things that I had spoken to myself about was the fact that I wanted to be teachable. I was successful in a traditional business, but in this industry, I didn't know what to do or how to do it, when to do it, or why to do it. But I was smart. I made the commitment to learn, to go back to school. And I was prepared to do whatever it took because, you see, I understood that in this industry, people were developing a 5, a 6, a 7-figure income, and I wanted to know how to do it in this industry because I had no real prior experience. So this really came down to surrounding yourself with the right people. So it doesn't matter where you are today, it's where you're going to be a year from now or 2 years from now. So you have to ask yourself, are you teachable? You can grab a piece of paper and a pen and you can ask yourself that question. Put down yes or no. Are you teachable? Yes. And if your answer is yes, guess what? You're at the right place. So from there, the next thing I had to think about was belief. Could I make this work? I go back to my traditional business. I knew where I did not want to be, but I knew where I wanted to be. I knew that I wanted to be able to create leverage in my life. I wanted to be able to develop a passive income. I didn't want to have to worry about legal issues, overhead staffing ever again. So, when I went to bed at night, these are some of the things that I thought about. What did I want? Did I believe that I could achieve my goals and my dreams? I wanted to be able to wake up, 7 days a week with a smile on my face that I'd never had before working a traditional business because the business owned me. So what's your belief level? And the interesting thing is you're going to come across people who are going to say to you that it won't work. What experience do you have? Those things don't work. And you know what? That's when you have to rise to the occasion. And in most cases, people who tell you it doesn't work, they probably didn't work the business to begin with. So that's why your belief level is so important, and it's something that you can work on a daily basis. As we go through these characteristics, there are things that will drive you to raise your belief level where it's never ever been before, and that's extremely important in the process. So as we move forward, the next thing that we want to think about is consistency. Doing the same thing over and over and over again. And even if the feeling has left you, you still want to be able to rise to the occasion. Because one of the things that you're going to experience in business and life are distractions. Distractions will pull you away from your ultimate goal, your ultimate vision, your ultimate legacy. And so you need to be able to realize that and get back on track and get focused so that you can begin to really see the results that you're anticipating. And you see, the consistency will create momentum in your business. And that's what you want. You want to be able to develop a consistent mode of operation. And in all honesty, I remember when I first got started in this industry, consistency probably wasn't one of my best assets, because running a traditional business, I really wasn't sure where I was supposed to allocate my time. So that's why it was so important to, as a leader, to be aware of the fact that you need to have a plan. You need to have a plan of action in place that really outlines what it is you need to do. Otherwise, you'll end up going around in circles. So you need to be able to have that plan that says, yes, I'm going to work my business 3 hours a day, or it's going to be 3 hours a week, or 3 hours a month. It doesn't matter as long as it's written down and it's very clear. So you want to be able to be consistent. Even if the feeling has left you, you want to be able to just do it over and over and over again. Okay, the next characteristic that is important is personal development. One of the things that resonates with me on a consistent basis is this subject here. I remember my mentor sharing with me the fact that you as an individual have to work harder on yourself than anything else. You want to become good at what you do, you got to work harder on yourself than anything else. So whether it's a job or whether it's a business, you work harder on yourself through personal development. It's amazing what will happen in terms of your growth. So what is it that you need to do? If you're doing the same things over and over again, and you're not getting the results that you're looking for, then obviously you need to do something a little bit differently. One of the things again that I've remembered from the mentors that I've had in this industry, one is leaders or readers. Leaders or readers. So, if you like to read, then you need to be picking up a good book, a good motivational book, whether it's, a Jim Rohn publication, or Dr. Robert Anthony, or there's The Power of the Subconscious Mind. There's some great books out there that you can read that are going to help you get into the right mindset. It's going to help you with your subconscious thinking, so that, again, you don't have to think about, what's right from wrong. You don't have to focus on the positive or the negative. You're just going to know what's positive, and you're going to throw the negative stuff aside. You need to listen to an audio. If you have an audio cassette player, or if you're listening to or watching a YouTube video, there are so many different things that you can plug into that's going to help you really develop. And, one of the things I always tell people, do you want to work, from a position of strength or from a position of weakness? Now, the beautiful thing is, it actually doesn't matter which one, because you can work on both of them. Okay? We work on your strengths, and that's what we focus on. But we develop your weaknesses. So overall, over time, you're going to become the person who you truly desire to be. But again, you've got to invest the time. The income and everything else will fall into place. So that's on personal development. Well, how do we get there? Well, this is a pretty big area, and I'm really just highlighting some of the key points on some of the things that I feel are really essential to your success. But your goals are also directly related or equal to your why. Why are you getting involved in this business? All right, you've got to have that out in front of you. You've got to, wake up in the morning and remember every morning, why are you in this business? If you ask me that question, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem sharing with you that I have, two great sons that I love very much, and I made a decision that I wanted to create a legacy for my kids. Why are you in this business? And we can touch on these things a bit more very shortly. But write down your why, because your goals will help you to achieve your dreams. Your goals will help you to achieve your dreams. Your goals are the activities that you're going to do on a consistent basis. There comes that word consistency again. Your goals will help you to achieve your dreams. So again, how many hours a week are you going to invest in your business? How many times will you share this opportunity? How many times will you share the product on a daily, weekly, hourly basis? You can break these goals down, and that is when your business begins to move forward. So very, very, very important. Very important. I was at a restaurant the other night, and I was talking to one of the servers. She had been with this restaurant for about 8 years. Very, very successful server. And she was sharing with me that one of her goals, because I always like to hear people talk about their goals, and she was sharing with me that her goal for the night was to do about $2,000 in business. That was her goal. So when she got to work, she was motivated, she was focused, and she was targeted on what she needed to do to be able to achieve those goals, those financial goals. And I had asked her, what was your highest amount that you had ever achieved in an evening or a day? And she said $5,000, $5,000 in business, and that was a full day. So, if you don't set goals, then you're not going to get to where you need to be. It's like a captain, running a ship. He knows where he's going. how he's going to get there. Without the captain, you end up going around and around in circles. So what do your goals lead to, folks? Your goals lead to the dreams that you have, the dreams of travel. Maybe spending more time with your family. Maybe it's a home that you've got your eyes on that you'd love to purchase, or the car that you want to drive, or maybe you want to make some investments, whether it's real estate or some other type of financial investments, or maybe you just want to give to charity. But these things will help you achieve your personal and your financial goals, and it will also help you become the leader that you truly want to be, because through this process, what you're going to be able to do is help other people duplicate the process. They're going to be able to do exactly what you're focused on. And then from there we go to another characteristic, which is vision. And I really love this characteristic, because anytime I think about it, I always have these words, and I say to people, I say on a consistent basis, you need to see yourself where you want to be before you arrive. You need to see yourself where you want to be before you arrive. You need to feel it. So, maybe if it's that car, you need to go and you need to get in that car at the dealership and you need to take it out for a drive. You need to feel the leather, the interior leather, right? You need to manifest these things into your life, and you need to begin the process. You don't have to wait until you arrive to be able to go and sit in that car. You need to know what it feels like now. You need to be able to touch it. You need to be able to drive it. You need to be able to sit in it. So if it's a home, you need to be able to go and take a look at some beautiful homes. I'm going to tell you, it's going to have an effect on how you think, because that's what you'll be seeing on a daily basis. You'll be seeing that home. So when you're sharing your opportunity with somebody, you're going to be seeing your goals in front of you, your dreams in front of you. You're going to be highly motivated. So please, yes, definitely create that vision in your life. And then from there, we go to responsibility. It wasn't too long ago that I had one of those aha moments. And sometimes there are certain activities that we need to be doing on a daily basis as a leader, and we kind of slack up a bit. We don't do what we're supposed to do. And maybe what we start doing is passing the buck. Maybe somebody else is supposed to be doing this. Well, that's not the sign of a good leader. What you need to do is take responsibility. If you say you're going to do something, make sure you follow up and do what you say you're going to do. So if you're going to, make a phone call, whether that person's there or not, make that phone call. Feel good about achieving the goals that you set out for yourself. If you said you got to go see somebody, don't say, oh, I'm too tired. Even if you're tired, even after the feeling has left you, you've got to pick up, make the responsibility to go and do what it is that you need to do. So it's really, really important, because you don't want to develop some bad habits, and always come up with excuses. We know people who make excuses all the time. There's one thing that my kids know me so well for. They can't come to me with excuses, because they know what my response is going to be already. So in a lot of cases, they don't even bother to come to me, because they just deal with the situation. They take responsibility for what it is that they know they're supposed to be doing. So as we move on here, folks, we've got one more that I want to share with you that I feel is very, very important, the characteristics of a leader. You want to surround yourself with the right people. You want to surround yourself with the right people for some time. And that could be upwards of 2 to 3 years, because you want to be able to learn from these individuals. And that is what I did 8 years ago. No real experience in this industry of network marketing. I wanted to learn. So what did I do? I hung on to the coattails of the leaders who I knew who could teach me how to become just like them. So I was able to communicate with them on a daily basis, whether by phone or email or Skype. I was able to get my questions answered. I was able to learn from the best of the best. I was able to duplicate the efforts that had already been proven successful by other individuals. So I learned how to listen, and I learned how to ask questions. And this is what you need to be able to do also, is listen. We've got twice as many ears as we do mouth, and I was able to do that. So communication is ever so important. And most of you on this call have probably heard this comment, this quote, where it says the squeaky wheel will get greased. The squeaky wheel will get greased. So when people are calling you, right, you're going to give them the information that they need. If people don't call you, then they're probably really not interested in learning a whole lot if you're not communicating on a consistent basis. So it lets you kind of know who the leaders are and who maybe the followers are also. All right, because leaders want to excel. Personally, in my business, I want people to be better than me. I want them to go out and become the best fisherman or fisherwoman possible. When you teach somebody how to fish, then they can fish for life. So, you want to make sure that communication is extremely important. And as a leader also, one of the things that you may even want to do is get together with other leaders, and then that way you can do some brainstorming and come up with some innovative and creative ideas. And, I'm a part of a mastermind group, actually with Mr. James Messina, who did the presentation here earlier, but innovation, creativity is something that we're focused on. So communication is a big bonus. All right, here we go. We're going to just touch on a few leadership quotes because I just want to share a little bit of information about each one. And the first one says, "Do not follow where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail." And, when I read this quote, I thought, wow, here I am in a network marketing company that is global, doing business in 36 plus countries where most people have never, ever traveled before. And here we have an opportunity of, just opening up new markets from the comfort of our home, utilizing a computer and a telephone. And this is what you have the ability to be able to do. If you look at history and you look at some of the great leaders, that have come, and some of them have left us, but they were pioneers in their section, in their time, and you can think about Steve Jobs, for example, and you've got Bill Gates, you've got a guy by the name of Michael Jordan. These people make other people around them that much better. They raise the level of performance. So, as we engage in the emerging markets, we have an ability to transfer information and knowledge to people who are hungry for opportunity. They're looking for opportunity, and that is an exciting time. So leadership is ever so important, and you have the ability to become a great leader in your own right. So as we talk about one other leadership quote here, this is, example is not the main thing in influencing others. It is the only thing. It wasn't too long ago that I had the opportunity of watching a video. And in this video, there was a 7-year-old boy. And what had happened in his community, there was this huge tree that had fallen over, and it had actually blocked the road, the main road of the small town. And so a lot of the traffic was rerouted, and unfortunately it created a lot of havoc because people couldn't go their normal route. So in some cases what happened is he was on a school bus and he had to get off the school bus, walk around, and walk home because the bus couldn't go any further. So one day it was raining, and he got out of the bus, and he walked, and he stood there for about 1 minute, and he looked at the tree. And, in amazement, this kid walked out into the road, and he started to push the tree. Now, obviously, this was a pretty big tree. It was too big for him to move, and they were actually waiting for some heavy equipment to come and move the tree. Well, the kid went out into the middle and started pushing this tree. Well, there were a lot of people out there. It was a busy street, and they were watching this kid. And you know what this kid did? He inspired other people, because one after the other people joined him, 7 years old, and they started pushing and pushing and pushing. And there were probably 100 or so people pushing this tree, and they were able to move it. They were inspired by a 7-year-old boy. So, example. We can do by example rather than telling people what to do. We can help to, develop people's thinking, encourage people, give them the motivation and the support that they need in order to be able to get the tasks at hand done. So we got one final quote here. And this quote is one that says, be the voice and the ears to those that you come into contact with. Be the voice and the ears to those that you come into contact with. And I thought about this quote, and I thought, how can, we make a difference in people's lives, in business today? How can we make a difference? Well, you see, in most cases, people who come into a business such as ours may not understand the business. They may have the skill sets and the mindset, but we are the bridge between what they do not know or understand. So let me say that one more time. People come into a business with the right skill sets and the mindset, and we are the bridge between what they may not understand or don't know. And so it's very important that we begin to be the voice, and we need to listen to what people are sharing with us so that we can help them get to where they need to be. So when I go back and I think about the business 8 years ago, I did not have a voice. The voice that I had was my mentor. He provided me with the support. He provided me with the encouragement. He provided me with the experience. He provided me with a passion that he had that I developed. I got a piece of his passion, and today I have the passion. And eventually I was able to begin to make decisions because I was able to learn from somebody else. So that's what we need to be. We need to be the voice, and we need to be the ears to those people who we come into contact with. All right, moving right along here, folks. What we're going to touch on now are the activities of a network marketing leader. And very, very important points that I want to make here. The first one is events. Events are very, very important. Again, when I got involved in this industry, I plugged into the system. I began to jump on a webinar training such as this on a Wednesday night because, we have great leadership here with this organization. We've got the James Messinas, we've got the Andreas Papakostas, we've got Joe Garcia and Dan Caddo, and we've got Francis Maxwell. I could go on. We've got some great people here. And you need to plug into the events because even to this day, I will plug in. I'll pick up the phone and listen to a business presentation because everybody does something so differently, and you can pick up these little golden nuggets that are going to help you to develop your business and help you to explain this business to somebody else, to help you understand the questions that you need to ask in order to get a good feel of whether or not that person understands what you're referring to. So you need to be able to plug into the events, the business presentations, the weekly webinars, if there's a local training, etc., or if there's a corporate promotion or a corporate event. It might be in another country. But if you can be at those events, those are going to help you to grow and to really get the feel of what it's like to be able to build a global business. I had the opportunity last year of being in Hong Kong What an event. It just gives you the bigger picture of what is possible. There are no limitations anymore. Number two here on the list is use the product and tell the story. Use the product and tell the story. When I got started, I did not have a story. Somebody else had a story. I was using their story. And when I got started in the business, an amazing story evolved. It was a story with my mother. Her bowels had backed up. She started using the premium noni here with this company. And within 7 days, her bowels cleared up. Well, that was an amazing story. Why? Because we started to move noni like never before. People were asking for this product because of the story. Not because they were being sold on a product, but what the product did for that person. Use the product, tell the story. So if you have a product that you like, you need to be using that product. This is your business. Use the product, tell the story. Powerful way to build a business and build a great income at the same time. Then what you can do, obviously, is share the opportunity. Share the opportunity is very simple. All you have to do is use the system, use the tools that are available. There are different ways that you can share the story, whether you use, and you can get back to the person who you're working with in your business and ask them about the front door approach. Ask them about the side door approach, and ask them about the back door approach. You know why we're here? We're here to teach you, because you see, when I got involved in this business 8 years ago, I was not the leader that I am today, because I've learned from others. So there's some great ways that we can help you to develop your business by sharing this opportunity. There's many, many different ways that we can approach it. Then we can talk about tools of the business. Tools of the business. And you need to be able to use these tools, not just for yourself, but for your people. You see, because we are system dependent. We're not people dependent. You can plug people into the steamteam.ca, which is an amazing training system visited by thousands and thousands of network marketers from around the world. And it has all the tools in there that you would ever need to help you develop your business or to get your questions answered so that you can take the next step. So that's a powerful tool. We work on various things such as branding, creating a brand so that you can market yourself, so that you can market your opportunity, so that people will want to be attracted to you and you will become the leader that you truly are. Not that you desire to be, you are the leader that you desire to be. You are. You just haven't arrived at where you want to be yet. This is the beginning process. For some of you, you're already at a certain level. You're going to take it to the next level. You're just going through that process. So utilize the tools. Nature's Care is a marketing site that was developed by Joe Garcia, a fantastic tool. Do you have a business card? Are you in business? Well, talk to the person who you're working with in business to get the right idea of the type of business card that you should be using. If you want to be a retailer, then there's a different card than one for building your business. So there's different things that you need to learn, and that's why we're here, to help you get to where you want to be. And then we've got the webinars, obviously. And there's some other marketing things that we can do to help you develop leads, such as capture pages or landing pages, etc. So these are the activities of a network marketer. You do these things consistently, you become the leader that you truly desire to be, and you'll be able to teach others how to do exactly the same thing. Okay, we're just about winding down here. And why build a global leadership system or business? Well, you know, it's interesting. I always tell people the trend is your friend. Some of you may have heard me share this already. The trend will last for a week, a month, years. But the key is when you identify a trend, you identify an opportunity. And Thomas Friedman states, if you don't have a global business model, you'll be left behind. This trend is here to stay. It's here for many, many years to come. We have barely scratched the surface of the markets that we're in today. So this is something that you definitely want to consider. There's no limitations. There's no limitations. You can access information in multiple languages. It doesn't matter whether you speak French or Spanish or Greek, Mandarin, Portuguese. There are no limitations. We've got the tools that will allow people to plug into the system so that they can actually learn about the business. We have webinars in multiple languages. There are no limitations, folks. This is a Class A business model and opportunity. You want to be a leader in the industry? Well, surround yourself with the best. It's just like driving one of the top vehicles out there today, whether, in class, we can talk about a BMW, a Mercedes-Benz, a Jag, or a Rolls-Royce. Well, this is where we're at. We're a Class A business model. And that's why we've created the number of millionaires that we have today in just 12 years, 42, not to mention numerous individuals who are developing a 4, 5, 6, 7-figure income, not to mention people who are earning $100,000 in 1 week. This is a Class A opportunity. And you know what? You don't have to worry about the traditional business concept. You don't have to worry about inventory. You don't have to worry about product development or staff. The company takes care of all of that. They take care of the shipping. All we have to do is share the opportunity, share the products, and be part of the events. Your voice is bigger than you think. Your voice is bigger than you think. Why? Because it's not just about doing a one-on-one with somebody face-to-face anymore. 10 years ago, yes, that may have been the case because we didn't have access to the internet and technology. So your voice is bigger, whether it's through social media and other tools that we can use today to help you develop your business. So that's why it's so powerful and why it makes sense to be able to build a global business. Well, to wind down, this is the final slide here for you tonight. And it is very simple. It's not an overnight affair. It's over time. You need to take one step at a time. You need to improve and focus on where you want to be. See yourself, where you want to be. And you will become the person you desire to be with every step, one step at a time. I've had a great evening here. I've really enjoyed the opportunity to share with you some key points on leadership, and I hope you've enjoyed it too. My name's Patrick Tulloch, and I'm going to be signing off from beautiful Toronto, Canada. Good night, folks.